Hey, this is Chuck, and you are listening to Fans with Bands, the podcast where we talk to the fans and the bands they dig about life, music, and whatever the hell else we want to talk about. Today on Fans with Bands, we are talking to Drink Their Blood. Check it out. Yeah, and so...
Oh, leave the meeting. No, I'm joking.
Leave the meeting now. The recording has started. I'm out.
Get that PR guy in here.
Oh, Lord. So, hey, this is Chuck with Fans with Bands, and I'm talking to Ben, Jeff, Andrew, and Todd of Drink Their Blood. How are you guys doing?
Hey, all right, great. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. And we've got some fans, Brandon and Jacob. How you guys doing?
Very good. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm happy to see you guys. So, I'm curious, I saw you guys at Prezerker and loved your music, and it was like totally enthralled. And I want to understand like how you guys got started, and I also want to get some feedback as to like your musical style. But first, just tell me the story about how you guys got started, and how did you come up with the name Drink Their Blood?
Well, that's kind of it was kind of just like the thing that stuck, and we couldn't really find anything better because everything better is already taken, So, myself and the vocalist at the time were trying to form this band, and we tried out a couple drummers, and then tried out another drummer, and he stuck, and I guess we knew of a few bass players, so we asked Judson if he wanted to play. I didn't think he would because we were like metal, and he was mostly like rock and punk and stuff like that, but he joined. We got going. A lot of the main influences at that point in time were, I guess, like Melt Banana.
Oh, cool.
Obscurity, and Between the Buried and Me. A lot of, like, one of my main influences that really show is, like, Morbid Angel, for the guitar harmonies.
Not just harmonies, though, like your riffs, too.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
But,
and I can hear that Melt Banana thing, too.
The spastic stuff.
Yeah.
And, got going from there. Had a little bit of feuding in the band, so we dropped a vocalist, and then got Mr. Ben here.
Awesome.
And then, from then on, we went for a while. I guess had another band meltdown, and
It happens.
Oh yeah, picked up Andrew, Todd, and Brad. So,
Awesome. Very cool.
Now we're continuing with good new influences, and
very cool.
Yeah, we didn't just replace two members. We gained a third on top of it. So it's awesome.
Yeah.
Jeff has been essentially, I guess, working with Todd since he was considerably younger. So for him to come in was just kind of a natural extension. He has a very similar style, and they do have similar influences. How did you feel coming into it?
I was confident that I could write stuff that would fit well with Jeff's writing style, just because like I grew up with the Drink Their Blood sound, and he shared a lot of his influences with me.
Yeah.
So we communicate really well when it comes to things like harmonies or ideas. Like he'll bounce a harmony off of me, or I'll bounce one off of him, and it's like, oh yeah, I know where you're going with that. Boom, boom, boom. So it flows really well together. But I think it's just from me growing up with the band that I was able to mesh in with the sound as easily as I did, I think.
Cool. And how did you pick up Andrew?
Yeah. So you.
Sorry, I'm curious. I want to know how.
We reached out to. I think we had a total of 5 different people to come try out, or at least show interest. We just reached out to our favorite drummers of different genres, of different influences.
Uh-huh.
And it was pretty early on that we were confident that Andrew was like the one, like what we do, with a mix of pretty heavy drum stuff into more melodic drum stuff. We were finding that it was kind of one way or another.
Oh, yeah.
Straight jackhammer people come in,
Yep.
or wanted to be real jazzy but couldn't do the fast stuff.
Yeah.
Andrew was, the fastest of anyone we tried out for starters. Also, he has a real good sense of groove to it too.
Cool.
So it's not like we're going to some of the slower stuff and he's just, which sometimes calls for it, but he's not just jackhammer mode.
Yeah.
We've known him from, he was in a band called Flesh and Iron in Kalamazoo that was really awesome. And just kind of a fan of what he did. And we actually started the whole drum tryout thing right before the pandemic.
Oh, shit.
Andrew was still trying to meet up. Like we would tell him, like, hey, you're number one, but we have a weird opportunity to listen to a bunch of drummers right now, so we want to listen to them. And then like a year and a half later,
Oh.
you want to be in our band? Thankfully, yes. It was drum tryouts are zero fun. Luckily, we always had Andrew. That I think that he would have, even if no one else wanted to try, we were happy with what he was doing already.
I was going to say the tryouts were fun for me.
Awesome. And so you guys mix, you got kind of like there's death metal, there's progressive rock, there's, hints of jazz mixed in there, all kinds of stuff. And I know, Jeff, you touched on a couple of the, you can definitely get the metal aspect from Morbid Angel. You can get kind of that weird noise rock thing from Melt Banana. I'm curious about everybody else. Like, what were the influences for you, and what do you think that brings to Drink Their Blood?
So I can hit off this one. My number one influence at the moment, still since 2013, has been a band called Humanity's Last Breath. A guy named, I'm going to butcher his last name, I think, but it's Buster Olderhelm. He gets the masters in, and he does a great job. So I've been following him for a while, and he's got a really eclectic way on how he likes to write his music. He kind of like breaks the rules. He doesn't really like follow everything you'd expect. If you've got a tempo going, he'll take a note out on the one so that the first hit of that measure feels like it dragged suddenly. Then it like drops back into it, and I don't know, there's a lot of cool stuff that you can pick up from all over the place. I guess it like started off with a lot of the metalcore influence, went more into deathcore as I progressed. And now I'm trying to step away from playing as fast as possible and, hitting all of these, big breakdowns.
Yeah.
Working more so on the lighter stuff, getting jazzier, and really nailing ghost notes is something that I'm trying to pick up. So
very cool. Awesome. And Todd, how about you?
Sorry. So for me, I'm super, super heavily influenced by like Baroque era composers, like Bach. Like he's like top one for me.
Yeah.
So like Bach, bands like Cloud Kicker and Intronaut, Gojira, even like some of the influences that Jeff shared with me. Like we're both massive fans of like all of those bands, Gojira, Intronaut, and Cloud Kicker. A lot of like progressive stuff for me comes from like Animals as Leaders as well.
Oh yeah.
Big fan of the stuff that Javier do on the A streams.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, that's the main reason we're playing A strings now is because of Animals as Leaders.
Oh, I did. You guys are playing 8-string guitars?
Yeah.
Fucking A. I mean,
It's just that their hands are so big.
I struggle with 6, so
I'm not awesome at 6. I don't know how they do 8. I pick the thing up and it just feels like I'm holding a boat. It doesn't.
oh, that's crazy. That's awesome. I gotta imagine it opens up a world of possibilities. Are you guys like working on? I'm gonna guess so, but like some new music.
Oh yes.
Plans for recording?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Excellent.
Does all the recording here at his studio here at Red Obsidian.
Oh, cool.
So right now we've been kind of recording practices and ideas.
Nice.
I know there's 2 songs that like are completely done that just needs to be like learned by the band and myself.
Uh-huh.
But it's like when these 3 guys showed up with Drink Their Blood, instead of, our practice schedule had kind of gotten pretty scarce before our previous members decided to step down. It just kind of became a distance thing, and then also maybe a loss of interest kind of thing.
Mhm.
Like it just didn't feel the same, once the transitions had happened.
Right.
It kind of stagnated what we were writing and what we were doing, because with a member so far away, coming in from Muskegon to Kalamazoo, it was like once a month or twice a month practice. And at that point, you're practicing for shows.
Yeah.
So it's just to make sure you can be tight to play out.
Yeah.
Shows as practice.
Yeah, definitely guilty. Right? See you next month. But we're starting off with doing twice weekly practices just to get everything ready. Like all the show stuff happens super fast. Like hey, you want to play a show? Cool. You guys want to play 4? Oh, guess what? It's in 2 weeks. All right, here we go.
With those 4 shows and there's 6 more.
Yeah, right.
That's awesome, though. That's a good problem to have, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. I know you guys are well, I should say I know this, but you're in KZoo, right?
Yep.
And so I'm curious because you have some aspects of this band. Were you familiar with Thought Industry at all?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I came to Kalamazoo in '98, and they were like, I think it was either right when they became like the kings of the club soda circuit, or right after they hit that peak and got signed by Metal Blade.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't think that you can be in a Kalamazoo metal band without hearing of them and hearing them for sure.
Yeah.
I definitely have like I can definitely appreciate some similarities, just in the sense that they were kind of also like throw the kitchen sink at it and see what it does, and
Yep.
there really wasn't any kind of boxes that they felt like they had to fit into.
Right.
But yeah, they were like kings of town. Like my little crappy band was trying to book a Tuesday at Club Soda and we were packing it on weekends.
That's awesome. So Fans with Bands is about not just me asking questions, but the fans. So kind of want to open it up and see if anybody has questions. So Jacob, Brandon, Bonnie, Hannah, anybody have questions?
Hey, good point. Before we start getting the questions, let me throw up a Cash App link. $5 a question.
This is how you get new merch.
Awesome. All right. Any of you guys got questions?
Drop your Venmo in the chat. Aw, bless you. Bless you, counselor.
I had a quick question real quick. When's your guys' next show and where at?
The next show we have coming up is actually in Kalamazoo at Bell's on November 2nd with Lakella and Lucius Fox, and our good buddy Derek is going to be doing, Derek Feltner is going to be doing MC and hosting for that, and do some comedy in between.
Excellent.
Very cool. Anybody else have questions? Jacob, Bonnie, Hannah.
I'll continue to think about one.
All right, cool. Well, we've kind of talked a little bit about like, you know, your musical inspirations. I'm curious about like, what was the first gig you guys played individually? Do you remember that gig, and what was that like for you? And any memorable stories you want to share from that? So
Like the first gig ever?
yeah,
Or
first
like
gig ever that you played. So Ben.
the very first show that I played was in the basement of a house party, and I don't remember a lot of it. I think that the very first like show that we played
Uh-huh.
was when I was in 8th Chakra. We played with Sadomasochism at like the Attic in Grand Rapids, and that was big time, man. Like we were partying for like a week leading up to that show. We made it, we're going to Grand Rapids, and we showed up and like we were just like annihilated by the time we got there. We were just like been partying like the Pantera home videos for a week. Playing our Grand Rapids show, and we get up there like I still will watch that video, and it's humbling. Like I know that we were switching guitars. We switched guitars twice in our 25-minute set, not for tuning reasons, but just to show off that we each had 2 guitars. At one point, I was going like this, camera, and I forgot my part. Like it's on video. Like it was so Bush League. But yeah, that was awesome though. That was really fun.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I think the first one, the one that I remember as the first time I ever played live was when the Strut downtown used to have the open mics. And I was in this shitty band straight, like fresh out of high school. No, I was still in high school for that. It was called Cicada with a K. And, yeah.
That's a key piece right there.
Yeah, it was great.
Started with a K?
No. That would have been really interesting.
How'd you guys pronounce that?
Something like that. Yeah.
Casada.
Casada. That was it. But yeah, we ended up going up there. I don't remember any of the music we wrote because, well, I guess it wasn't memorable. And then on top of that, I remember specifically that was the only time we've ever apologized on stage. So, first shows are humbling, but yeah.
Sorry about that, everybody.
Yeah. It was amazing, dude. It was so good. And then somehow, I think it was months later, it actually let us come back. So that was cool.
Nice.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Is this on video anywhere?
Thankfully, no.
Oh, damn it.
If it's ever happening, there's only my word, and that's what you get.
That's it. Oh, awesome. Let's go next. Todd, Jeff?
I'll go. So my first one, it's in a band called Drink Their Blood. No. No. It was, I think I was like 18.
Last year. Sorry, Todd. Sorry, he's just so young. I'm sorry.
Playing bass in a band called The Pyrrhicist. That one was like super prog, like all over the place, like 11/8 time signatures and stuff. That was at Shakespeare's.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that was awesome. I remember being like super nervous, and then we started playing, and then I was not nervous. It was awesome. Yeah.
Fantastic. And Jeff, how about you?
I guess of course, like Ben, the first like actual time we played in front of people was at a house party, and I was in a thrash metal band, and very influenced by death.
Oh,
and,
cool.
Yeah, and we played little house show, but like the first time we played, well, I'd say like the first 5 to 8 years of me playing in front of people, I was just, I'm always so nervous. I just have to focus on what I'm doing, otherwise I'll like mess up.
Yeah. Yeah.
But fortunately, I've played in front of enough people to where it's comfortable for me now. So
That's cool.
yeah.
Well, I was going to ask you guys, like, do you like pre-show? Do you have any kind of like pre-show rituals, things you need to do to kind of get your yourself ready to go? That could be like a beer, water, praying to God, whatever.
Oh. Yeah, I usually pace. I pace around a lot. I'm still really nervous before every show we do.
Yeah.
Not necessarily just performance, just thinking about everything that could potentially go wrong. Like, do we get this? We get this. We get this. So, like, usually it's just like, hey, it's 5:55. You guys, 5:57. We gotta go. We gotta go. And so, like, it's like, I don't know. I'm the nervous Nelly. And like warm up stuff, I really should do vocal warm up stuff, but I don't. And usually it's because I'm just like running around and like vocal warm up stuff. And plus, like another thing, like I haven't really found like a cool, fun vocal warm up stuff. They're all real dorky. So just walk around like, how you doing? And I'm just going.
Man in a corner, do re mi.
Oh man.
Yeah, luckily I haven't found like when I was in 8th chakra, I had a shirt that I always wore that I never washed. I had a sweet hockey jersey, and by the time like I retired the guitar because it was just like the black shirt had gray streaks from where sweat was, and like underneath the collar was all bleached white. That was gross. Do I pace back and forth to calm myself down or amp up? A little bit of both, I guess. Pacing for me is just like imagine you're on a phone call and it's a long phone call, and then you get up and then you just start moving. It's almost like to get my mind off it, I think.
Yeah, I do that. If I'm on if somebody calls me on the phone, I immediately stand up and start walking around. And I don't know why, but
yeah. That's how it is too. Like once we get there, and then like the biggest relief for the entire evening is if there's any tickets or money, and that's all handled, because like that for me is like OCD counting on the way.
Oh yeah.
All right, 20 tickets. All right, I have 3 left. How much money is that? Here, count this money. Yeah. So that kind of stuff like freaks me out bad. But luckily there isn't like any kind of like set ritual that I follow. I don't think. Maybe I should start one though.
I don't know. I really want to start one.
Yeah.
You do a group huddle.
Yeah, right.
Oh, yeah.
You come drink their blood in their bucket of chicken wings. Ritual.
Dude, we need to do it like the opening or it's the final battle in the movie Dodgeball, where it's the Viper guys and they all come out of they all come out of the curtain with the smoke machine.
Yes.
Sponsored by KFC.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Awesome.
Anybody else with any pre-show things?
Water your bathroom.
Yeah.
Key.
I like a vodka Red Bull.
Nice.
Because I mean, the vodka kind of chills you out.
It's the yin and the yang. Yeah.
The Red Bull keeps your feet moving. That's just, yeah. Other than that, I don't know, a little bit of calf raises for the same reason. And then playing around with sticks as much as I can until I actually sit up on the seat. So
yeah.
About it.
Cool. Jeff, you got anything that you do?
Check and make sure everybody is okay.
That's a great one.
Yeah. Yep. Make sure everybody's set and try to fix as much stuff as I can.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I do.
There have been more than a handful of times when Jeff has checked in on me if I'm either not standing up straight or holding like a microphone cable in one hand and going like this. But yeah, he's absolutely checks on everyone. Like that's a good thing for you, I think. That's exactly what you do. But yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So Jacob, Brandon, Bonnie, Hannah, any questions?
Yeah.
Go for it.
I got one. Kind of conversely, I have pre-show rituals as an audience member. when you guys go to shows like, and you're not playing them, you're an audience member. Do you have any rituals for, get yourself ready to be an audience member?
That's a good one.
You know, we've actually talked about that at shows quite a few times. Well, especially for me, because usually if I'm at a show, I'm either playing or running sound for it.
Right.
So when I'm just there to watch, I'm like, what do I do? I just have to stand here? Find somebody to talk to.
Jeff's so used to being in the merch or in the sound booth, like running stuff, that you see him standing with no one talking to him, and he's just like,
Yeah.
Can I get that amp? Like,
Yeah.
oh, sorry.
You mind if I chime in on that one, Jacob?
Yeah, please.
No.
Yeah, definitely as an audience member, I kind of have my own. I think everyone has their own like ritual kind of things that they do for sure, whether they're working or if they're just there for pure entertainment. But I'll try and find the biggest pole and just lean up against it for like the rest of the night. Try and find the guy or the person with the coolest shirt and just start talking to him.
That's a good point. Like thinking about like if I don't have to like going to shows, like I think to be in a local band you have to like going to shows. I mean, there's no money here.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like if you have to want to be in concert settings. So when I get to go, I like the relief of not having like a schedule. I like the what Brandon said about like I like to find a perch right away. You know what I mean? Like, this will be home base. This is our table. Come find me by the wall. Right. And then I always, if I'm drinking, which I don't get too nuts these days anymore, but I'll always make sure I have a water with me too. Because I realize that, like, if the music's going loud and it's a good time and you're thirsty, you're probably just going to slam whatever's in your hand. Exactly. And I learned that I will slam a pitcher of water just as easily as I will a beer if I'm thirsty. So that was a good trick. Ibuprofen.
Right.
Oh my God, I can't stress the importance of ibuprofen.
Oh man.
Yeah, this is our Motley Crue dirt right here. Yeah. What do you guys do to party? Gallons of water and ibuprofen, man. Find a table to sit at when we get there.
That's usually my ritual. Is whenever I go anywhere, I'll just find if they have a booth, I'm claiming it. Then I'll get some drinks with whoever I brought with me usually, and then other than that, I'm guilty of doing this. I guess I'm always on the grind, but I'll sit there and I'll compare myself to the drummer that's on stage at the moment. and I'll sit there and I'll critique it, and I'll just be like, could I play that? I bet I could play that. Could I play that? I can't play that, man. And then I don't know, I get enjoyment out of seeing, like, okay, what did he do, and do I agree with it or not? So, yeah. A lot of fun. I used to mosh, but, yeah, it's starting to hurt more. So.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I used to love being in the mosh pit, but I am an old man now, so and I had too many, like, I had my nose broken at grip, and my left knee dislocated at overkill. It was that was
did you leave right away, or did you stick it out?
No, I stayed for the rest of the show.
Actually, I've got an interesting story that's kind of like that.
God damn, man.
And it happened to be at the last show that Greg played with you guys.
Oh, yeah.
So when their drummer resigned, they had one last show that they played down at Papa Pete's. And I showed up to support it. I went in the pit because got to support it, right?
Yeah, right.
And there is, not only was the floor slick, so you can slip pretty easily. But on top of that, I was going around the outside of the pit, and you see it in slow motion when it happens to you.
Oh, yeah.
This chick, closed fist, cocked me straight in the nose. Like, there's just... I was like, okay.
Because my mom rules, Todd.
It was Ben's mom. So I end up getting up off the floor, then I go into the bathroom, and I'm just bleeding
Oh
all
my
over the
Yeah.
place.
Oh yeah.
Right? So I don't know if my nose is broken or not. The set list ends, and then like Greg and like all of the fans run into the bathroom to take shirtless selfies while I'm sitting there like this. Oh, what a night.
Oh, that's awesome. Good
That
times.
was great.
Good
Yeah, but that's
times.
one of the reasons why I don't mosh. Yeah, I don't want to get hit in the face by Ben's mom anymore.
My mom's in the chat. I don't know. That's Bonnie. I'm just joking, Mom. You don't punch anyone.
But when you do, it's really hard and it hurts.
And so we had a chat message from Hannah that says, and it first started with moist, embarrassing show moment, which that could be fun too. But
That's actually that's every show for me, right? Every show.
but then she changed it to most. So how about most embarrassing show moments? And that might have been your first show. But
Oh yeah, that was the first show.
I think it's tough for me because, like, I guess in the spirit of rock and roll and whatever, I usually am pretty outspoken and try to be funny at stuff. So it's kind of hard to embarrass me because I'll try to do it myself already.
yeah.
One of the coolest embarrassing things, I had a birthday party at some Bridge Street Tavern in Grand Rapids for like my mom and sisters and like 8 other people who got to witness this glory. And we were up on stage and we were rocking out, and I went to step my foot like this and stepped right through the stage, which was awesome.
Yes.
It just was like, I remember getting my foot up out and like looking over at my buddy DJ, and I'm like, and he's like, we just kept going. No one got hurt. It was just badass. It was like a giant stomp. Put it right in there.
That's awesome.
I mean, I've ripped so many pairs of pants, like either getting on stage or at Skeletones this past week. I had to like be a grandpa and roll up on stage.
Yeah,
it was
that
like
was great.
it was like as high as my waist, and I'm like, ugh.
And of course, you set all the other band's gear on the stairs.
Yeah. Oh right. Yeah. Of course.
You literally had to either like straight squat jump up there or do the bend roll.
I think to make it even a little more apparent was, being an all ages show. We get there and there's like kids who are maybe in high school sitting there like on the ground when everyone's getting there, and then I'm like, flashing my AARP card to them. Hey, hold on, kids. We're gonna do a rock and roll show. 50 cent off coffee.
Oh, that's awesome. Anybody else have any questions for the Drink Their Blood guys?
Yeah, I got another one.
Yeah.
I want to get some recommendations from each and every one of you guys, from like what you're currently listening to and stuff. What you've been really doing lately.
Cool.
So I am like a huge Neurosis fan.
Awesome.
They slip in like weekly for me still. Like no matter how much new stuff I listen to, I think their discography is so dense and so varied that you can throw on some of their earlier punk stuff, some of their middle like post rock stuff, and then I like them all the way up until their most recent stuff where it's like a combination of the two.
Yeah.
So I mean, I always listen to them a bunch. I actually blame Drink Their Blood or give credit to. I always thought that bands like Converge and Dillinger were really noisy,
Mm-hmm.
like ADD, skits out, freak out kind of bands, and then like because of them, and also because of that brilliant Mike Patton EP that he did with Dillinger, I started to see the art in it. And as kind of like a late bloomer to that whole mathcore stuff, I took on quite a bit of the Dillinger influences,
Nice.
just in terms of how quickly they are able to just abruptly go, and the whole band follows, and it's weird. And so I like a lot of Dillinger stuff, but those are two, again, older bands. The latest releases that I've gotten into, I love the new Wolves in the Throne Room. I think that is just killer. The new Between the Buried and Me is insanely good.
Mm-hmm.
I listen to that a bunch. Yeah, I actually listened to That Wolves in the Throne Room like a lot. So that's like on the top of my mind right now. I'm just kind of floored by that.
Yeah, they're one of my favorite bands. Like easily atmospheric black metal too. Like yeah, they're right up there. And Neurosis with Souls at Zero for sure.
Yeah.
That album's incredible. So
Absolutely.
There's one. Oh man, there's one band in particular that now I'm running through everything and I can't remember exactly what it was. Oh man, I listened to the video like 40 times, and now the name's gone. But if you haven't listened to them already, I plugged it once. Humanity's Last Breath. Got to go check it out. The guy's phenomenal. I listened to all of his albums. I don't really think there's a bad one. There's a couple of like EPs that he put out between 2014, 2018, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But they were still great. Otherwise, it's stuff like Bill Jarda, which he actually drums for. There's Discarnate, Reflections, North Lane, Rivers of Nile.
Oh yeah,
excellent.
they kicked ass on Tuesday, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Nice.
Holy
nice.
shit! Yeah.
I mean, your typical Whitechapel, Lamb of God, stuff like that too, but I ain't as impressed with their newer stuff. So,
Gotcha.
Just personal preference.
I think before Brad joined, I was like the resident black metal guy, and Brad like schools me at that. So I don't even have that title anymore now.
Brad is so black metal.
Brad is so black metal.
So black metal.
Yeah, it was like, hey, I just listened to Immortal on the way here, so I guess I'm black metal guy. And he's like, oh no, that's like so mainstream. No. Hey, did you check out the new Mayhem album? Yeah, I'm a wuss. No, not really, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like he's like Mr. Underground with a lot of that and the Doom.
Gotcha.
Okay, so that one band that I listened to the album to the point of just losing it, Ulcerate, Stare Into Death.
Oh yeah.
Dude,
Ulcerate's awesome.
their drummer is so good, so I'm just gonna. He's got a drum playthrough where it's just him like album tracking. And I had that on my big screen in my living room, so I could absorb it by osmosis.
Yeah.
So that's how I do it.
That album definitely has one of the most dissonant soundscapes I've ever heard.
Yeah.
It's just strange how they move from one part to the next, and I really, really like how they do it because it's just they're super crushing. But then it's the articulation that he puts into his drum pieces when they hit the slow spots, the atmospheric spots, where the guitars are playing only a couple of notes per phrase, but he fills all this empty space with, oh man, it's not even just jazzy, it's just like abstract groove, and it's really cool how he uses like the bells and whistles to get it done. So yeah.
Right.
Awesome.
I don't know if it's a reflection of, I guess, the expansion of recording technology, or if it is just that, like the bands that I'm friends with that I really like. But I find myself, when it comes to new stuff, honestly, this isn't just like trying to be like a cool scene guy. Like what catches my attention are the locals lately, like the Throne, Recorruptor, Lucius Fox. Holy Jeff actually is done recording with Lucius Fox. The last album, right?
Not the newest one, but
The full length though, right?
Yeah.
And there's
two before that.
Yeah, okay. But yeah, like for me, I would say that I was the biggest Cavalcade fan, but Jacob this here, so I can't even say that.
Yeah, don't even try to compete with that dude on Cavalcade.
Yeah. Oh, I know, for real. I'm surprised Cavalcade hasn't like made like a cat, like a six-eyed cat in a Halford outfit, like just for Jacob. Like, hey, what's this? It's like it's footy pajamas just for you, and it's got like Alpha Cat all over it.
Oh yeah, well, we got to put that in Brad's ear.
No doubt. But I want a nickel every time they sell one.
Yeah.
In perpetuity. It's on recording now.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
What about you other guys? What are you listening to right now, Jeff and Toby?
Actually, a lot of what I'm listening to right now is a band I'm recording called Something You're Not. And well, technically they're not really a band, but it's Dan and Jake from No Breaks.
Oh, cool.
Will.
Tomb of Teeth.
Yeah, Tomb of Teeth, and is
Nice.
still in No Breaks.
Cool.
And Juan Dean from Andor and Shay from Guardrail.
Gotcha.
Those two are doing vocals. We still have a couple vocal lines to record, but
It's really mean. It's
Yeah.
really mean.
yeah,
That's excellent. That sounds like a cool
Yeah.
collab.
If you know
yeah.
any of those guys put pressure on them, they're like, oh, I don't know if we're doing shows. Like, shut up, do some fucking shows.
Yeah,
Level this state, you guys. Like, this is
Yeah.
crazy
it's
shit.
brutal.
That's awesome.
Right. Very cool.
Yeah. Can't wait for you guys to hear it.
Awesome.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
For me, really like the newest thing that I've been listening to a bunch has been the Fluid Existential Inversions by
Okay.
it's the newest Intronaut record. That one's really
Oh.
good.
Yeah, I've been listening to that.
All right.
Wow.
That one is really good.
Oh man, so good.
Other than that, lately I've been listening a lot to the Richard D. James album by Aphex Twin. That is really good. That and I have like is Deflorate or Deflorate, however you say it, by Black Dahlia Murder. Like that.
Oh yeah, that's a great album.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's a throwback I've been listening to. Hymns has been popping up a bunch. I don't know if you guys remember them.
Oh yeah, Himsa.
I freaking loved Hymns.
Yeah.
Like, I've just been on a binge this week. Dude, yeah, those guys are
Yeah.
incredible.
Did they do like 2 albums or something like that? Right?
Yeah, they did
Yeah.
like an EP and 2 albums, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was blown away. They
Yeah.
were. I still have that shit. I was like, what this band's fucking awesome. I always wanted to see him. I never did.
I actually got to see him with Black Dahlia and 3 Inches of Blood upstairs at Skeletones.
Oh,
The
wow.
coffee shop upstairs. Dude, so I got the CD, the unhallowed CD of Black Dahlia, like from our local record store.
Yeah.
My buddy who was working there is like, hey, you got to check these guys out. They're incredible. So we went home and like, if it had grooves, we would have chewed it up at that point. All that my band listened to, everyone had copies.
Yeah.
All we listened to, and then like, I wonder if these guys tour. We were like, holy shit, they're from Michigan and they're coming to Grand Rapids next week. Let's go. So we go up there, and of course, them being all ages or whatever, no drinking, no booze. So we got there really early thinking it was going to be packed. So we went up to Mulligan's and definitely did some pre-gaming there, knowing that it was going to be all ages. And got back, and there was maybe 8 people total
Oh shit.
Wow.
for the whole night. Like, it was like I'll never forget this guy and his girlfriend, and she seemed so grouchy. She was there, and he was just kind of putting his hands in her hoodie pocket with his head on her shoulder, rocking back and forth all night. And we were just like hammered. Like, it was way too old to be hanging out with like kids, but it was like, it was awesome. Like, that was one of the coolest shows I remember ever going to.
That's awesome.
Jeez. Yeah. Black Dahlia and the early root.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, the Himsa band was so dope. I remember there's just being kind of taken aback at how tiny their singer was, though. Like Danzig, like he comes up to my chest, like, whoa, you sound so big.
Yeah. That would be funny to just walk up and say, "You sound much larger, sir."
Right. I'll get down on one knee and open up a backpack and be like, hop in, bud. Come on, I'll Chewbacca carry you. I like your band.
Big Ben and the Food Giant.
Oh man. Any other questions, Jacob, Brandon, Bonnie, or Hannah?
Yeah, I appreciate the Rex guys. Thanks.
Yeah, man.
No
Thank you.
No. All right. Well, I've got a question, and that is, what is the first album that you bought with your own money? Or it could have been a gift, but
Like, does cassette tapes count?
cassette. Yeah, I say
Okay.
album in the general sense of a recording.
So let me see. I was gifted by my parents on Easter Guns N' Roses, Appetite for Destruction.
Nice.
Me and I think the very first tape I bought was me and my buddy went in on And Justice for All on
Nice.
cassette at this really shitty music store in Lowell. Like, this was back in like 5th grade when it first came out. I had to mow so many lawns. That cassette tape was like $20, and he and I went halvesies.
Oh shit.
So it was like 3 lawns or something stupid. And like, so we ended up getting it back, and he, this was before we knew how to like record or anything. So we would take turns with the tape. And when the tape was at his house, his dad almost broke it because he listened to the lyrics to it.
Oh.
Ridiculous! What are you? And I'm like, there's not even a parental advisory sticker on it. Show him your Slayer tape. So like, I ended up like, he ended up like putting it on top of his garbage can and taking out the garbage, and I snuck out there and got that tape later so I could have it. But yeah, that album changed my life, I think.
Yeah, it's a great album. Great album.
I think the first one that I was ever gifted, I remember it being Green Day's American Idiot.
Oh yeah, that's a good
Wow.
one.
But I think I remember the first one I ever. Yeah, I think I asked, but I'm going to say I stole it from my dad. Was Drowning Pools. I got to remember the album that had Let the Bodies of the Boy.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That full album, I used to play that on a repeat. Like, I don't know, I was probably somewhere between 12 and 14.
Nice.
Oh wow, jeez.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's a classic. It's a classic.
Yeah.
Todd, Jeff.
Yep. Sure. I don't remember the first one that I was gifted because I've been kind of listening to music for pretty much as long as I can remember. I remember when I was like,
Because it was probably an MP3 player.
it was,
Right.
Yeah.
it was, yeah.
What was the first album that you bought, BitTorrent?
No, but I remember.
I love that band. They play every.
Like, I remember the earliest that I remember, like, listening to music. I was really young, like 5 or 6, and I remember like borrowing my grandma's MP3 player, the little pill MP3 player.
Oh yeah.
It had "Wake Me Up" by Evanescence.
Yeah.
And I listened to that like the whole night. I just stayed up. Yeah. But I do remember the very first album that I bought. The very first like physical album I bought with my own money, I think, was it was a Deftones record. I think it was White Pony.
White
Is it
Pony.
that, or it was Madness and Many by Animal Leaders.
Oh, awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
Both awesome albums. So yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. Nice.
And Jack, how about you?
Say, for me, the first album that really had the biggest influence was And Justice for All.
Nice.
Yeah.
Old
guys.
Yeah,
Old guys.
Yeah. Back in the 90s. But and then of course got Master of Puppets and then started getting into like Megadeth.
That's how I did it too.
Yeah, that does seem to be a common way of how you get to Megadeth is through
Yeah.
Metallica.
Yep.
Right.
And then that usually leads you either to Slayer or into maybe Pantera. You make a jump to Pantera,
Yep.
depending
Yeah.
on the timing, So yeah.
Yeah, Pantera came for me after the Slayer Metallicas. I remember getting like holding the CD at this point of South of Heaven, and like just looking through the lyrics and the art and everything and the sound of it, and like just convinced I was going to hell. Like like this is it. I sold my soul for this right here. It better be awesome, and it was awesome. Like yeah, it was always like I blame Slayer for like Metallica for sure, like their musicianship, and I think that that's still like, I mean, if you say Intronaut, Mastodon, a lot of like the super like epic melodic in time, super tight guitar stuff, syncopated drum stuff has been borrowed by Metallica since they did it.
Right.
And then I think it's like, for me though, Metallica wasn't really like a gateway into heavier, scarier. Maybe it was. It opened the door to Slayer for me, but like Slayer was like, oh, and then, oh, what's this crazy Norwegian stuff going on?
Oh, yeah.
Like, oh, geez. Like, it just was like, how much more evil, you know?
Right.
And then now that you're older and you realize it was all just like Halloween capes and BS, like, it's awesome. But like, I remember like, oh, dude, I was just looking at the artwork of that and convinced that I was condemned. That was it.
Oh,
That
yeah.
moment when you go from Green Day to Napalm Death. It's just, well, you really, you've got a full spectrum here.
Yeah.
You guys ever heard Grain Drill?
Yeah.
It's fast.
I think the first CD I ever bought was probably Rust in Peace, actually,
Awesome.
from Best Buy when they still sold CDs.
Yeah,
and
man.
stuff. Yeah, hearing Holy Wars for the first time.
Oh my God.
That whole interlude part, I was blown away.
Yeah.
That tune is fantastic. That and Hangar 18.
What an opening track
Yeah.
too, Jesus.
Oh yeah, fantastic. Jacob, I can't remember what yours was. I know we've talked about it though.
That's all right. The first one for me was Paranoid Black
Nice.
Sabbath. I was a kid and I had heard Iron Man, and I asked my mom, like, what is this? Like, this sounds so cool. And she's like, oh, this is Black Sabbath here. Like, let's go to the store and buy you
Let's
one.
go buy you one Black Sabbath.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
You go, son. One Black Sabbath.
Dude, I feel extremely.
One Black Sabbath, please.
I'd be saying it if she wasn't on here, but I grew up in a very musical household. I had a record player when I was like in kindergarten or first grade. It was a little suitcase and it opened up and
Oh, cool.
it fit like like 45s. I don't know if it fit for 33. She'll have to tell you later. But my mom, was a rock and roll metal kind of household. So growing up, like, being scared of the Alice Cooper albums, listening to Black Sabbath on a regular basis, being scared of the I Am Iron Man, like I was always like very much like in my foundation, I feel like was always like band stuff, rock stuff. And then the whole saxophone stuff came about in 6th grade. I wanted to be in band, but I wasn't like proficient enough at guitar stuff, and marching band at the time just sounded like the most awesome thing. I don't know what I was thinking, but like, oh yeah, this could be awesome. I'll be at the football game every single Friday, hanging on to a 50-pound saxophone in the rain. What am I doing? But yeah, so I always grew up like around hard rock stuff and heavy stuff, and I think one of the good things about the relationship between me and my mom is that we're always still like turning each other on to new stuff, like
Cool.
as our tastes kind of develop and turn on. And she's a big fan of a lot of the local stuff and a lot of local bands that are coming through. So she's like, "Oh, cool, they're playing. I'll be there."
That's super cool.
Yeah, I'm very lucky. I know.
Yeah, hell yeah. And is your mom Bonnie?
Yep, that's Bonnie.
All right, so Bonnie, can you hear us? Do you want to say what your first album was? Oh,
It's probably one of the ones I used to sit on and scooch across the living room.
Like, I love that album. Now it's all
Right.
jacked up. All right, I did not hear anything from Bonnie. So, how about Hannah? Can you hear us?
Oh yeah, I'm curious.
Yeah. Oh, they must be having some.
What about you? What's your
problems.
first one?
My first one
Yeah.
is Elton John. Goodbye Yellow Brick Road.
Oh man,
Yep. That was a
I
very
just
first
listened to that
album.
last week.
Yeah, it's I still love Elton John.
You too.
That was my gateway into At the Gates.
Oh yeah.
It's a
Slaughter of the Soul.
yeah, it's a smooth segue,
Right.
from Benny and the Jets into Nausea.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I would really be into Elton John doing his version of a cattle decapitation song. I think he could play it.
You know,
Yeah.
that would be interesting to have, like, to do like a metal tune, but do it totally your style. Like, so for Elton John, make it orchestral, theatric,
Right?
sing it your way, but have it be, the basic chords and lyrics from, like, cattle decapitation or Slayer.
If he
Do
did
South
it
Heaven.
like Marcus, it'd just be like reading out of like a medical book. Tracheotomy.
You've
Now I want to hear Beethoven's Fifth with Travis Ryan on vocals.
So there's
Acapella.
similar that this exists. You're gonna have to find it on YouTube. But the Die Hard is Murder's Reign of Darkness. There's a guy that did an acoustically sung version of that. So he put like these nice chords, over his guitar, but then he sang all of the lyrics. And all I gotta say is that song's surprisingly beautiful in the darkest way.
If you like to eat people.
Because well, when you listen to it originally, and I like doing this to introduce people into metal because they're always like, I never understand what they're saying. It's all gibberish garbage, blah, blah, whatever, right? Because they've never actually heard what they're saying.
Yeah.
So what I like doing is I'll show them the original,
Mm-hmm.
and then immediately afterwards, I'll look up this acoustic cover. And the lyrics, like I said, they're beautiful. And people are like, wait, he's actually saying that? And then you go back to the original, and he's like, oh, I can hear it now. And I'm like, thank you. It's there.
So I've had that experience many times. I was going to ask you guys if you've had that same experience because, honestly, sometimes I don't know what the hell Jeff Walker's saying.
Yeah.
And then I read the lyrics and I go, same thing with, Tomas from At the Gates. I love At the Gates. They were my gateway in, Heartwork and, the one before Slaughter to the Soul.
Hang it.
The red hand on it.
Yeah.
Terminal Spirit Disease.
Yeah, Terminal Spirit Disease. Yeah. Those were my gateways into extreme music. And when I first listened to At the Gates, I loved the orchestral classical music sound of it, but I had no idea what Tomas was saying. Every once in a while you'd get a word, but then if you read the lyrics, suddenly I could understand everything he was saying. It was weird.
Yeah.
You ever tried to get through an entire Black Tongue album? I tell you what, the lyrics are nuts, and it takes you a little while to pick it up, but once it's there, you're just like, holy crap, dude.
Yeah.
There's a lot of music I listen to that I don't know would necessarily register on like the metal scale.
Yeah.
But as someone that like tries to do lyric stuff, like lyrics can be a make or break thing. I'm hesitant to look up some of the bands that I don't necessarily, maybe not as clear as, clean vocals. Just because sometimes it's like, is that really what they're saying there?
Yeah.
I wish I didn't know. But I think that like if you go through and like some of the bands for me, like heck, I'll even throw Dillinger back out there. Like some of the lyrical work they do on those albums, like will range everything from super, super pissed off to like almost elated, isolated. Like it has so many different like themes and emotions throughout what they're doing. And it just elevates like their experience for me. So I can't say that necessarily anymore that I'm on my belly in the bed, like reading through all the lyric sheets and stuff like I used to growing up. Heck, I don't even really get hard CDs anymore. Everything's Bandcamp now. But like when I do, like it's super rewarding to find like words and lyrics that I can relate to even more. And then it's like, well, I just got myself a new favorite song, My Chemical Romance.
Awesome.
Yeah, I have a good example on that one. The Humanity's Last Breath, they got a song called Tide. All the lyrics should be in the description in the YouTube video. yeah, when you first listen to it, it's going to be really hard, or like really tough to be able to figure out what he's saying. But then if you sit there with the lyrics opened up underneath it, it's like, yeah, it's a really cool experience. So
Yeah.
same thing, yeah.
Yeah. I always enjoyed that when it kind of comes full circle and you're like, oh, this is perfect. And then totally when you get some lyrics and you find out that they're asinine, you're like, oh, fuck, this ruined the song for me.
Yep.
Yeah.
Been there too.
It
yeah.
can.
Yeah. Yeah.
It really can. It can take something that you thought you were hearing was like a meaningful thing,
Yeah.
and it's just like someone like, you know, getting the party pumping, and then all of a sudden, like that gravity came with it. Originally was like, oh,
Yeah.
damn. Yeah. Yeah.
It's like every Infant Annihilator song. It's
Yeah.
just like,
Oh, yeah.
it's like, dude,
God.
amazing, love it. What are the lyrics? Never
Yeah.
mind. Never mind. Yeah.
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 Because I love their music, you know, and Jeff Walker, is it, his name's Walker too, isn't it? Is it Waters? Jeff
Waters.
Yeah. Yeah. Great, you know, songwriter as far as like thrash and shit. But yeah, the lyrics are, whew. Hopefully he's not listening to us right now.
we can scrub that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what like I think happened to Neurosis in me when I started to get through the lyric stuff. It was like there was such like a weight to the entire package, and that just like elevated it for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, guys, I've just got one last question, and it's a group question for everyone. Sort of controversial, so you may have heard it before. You may be familiar, and that is pineapple or no pineapple on pizza. Yeah.
No pineapple.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
No pineapple.
Yeah.
no.
Oh man! And Jacob, you had that funny story about pizza before.
We're
But,
50-50 now. Yeah.
Wait, where's Brad?
Where's Brad?
It's up to
yeah, where's Brad in that? In
Yeah.
that mix?
If he says pineapple, he's out of the band.
Yeah, no. Might be having bass player tryouts.
Oh, jeez.
You know what though? To be fair, I can handle it in super small doses, and I blame what's the pork dish that I like so much? The Mexican one, El Pastor.
Oh yeah.
Brad eats pineapple pizza. It said.
What?
Yeah, Brad.
Oh man.
Out.
Oh, this was a great last interview.
Majority rules.
We're announcing our departure in
Yeah.
this video right here.
That's it. We're done. The pineapple question
Ben,
is
you
fucked
and I
us.
will go get Rio pizza.
That's right. Green olives.
There you go. Awesome. Well, guys, thanks so much for being on Fans with Bands. Jacob, Bonnie, Brandon, and Hannah, thank you guys so much.
Thank you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chuck.
No problem.
Yeah. I plan to make it to a show. I just don't know when, but I will be there.
Oh yeah, for sure, man.
Yeah.
We'll keep having them just for you.
Yep.
All right. Awesome.
That's right.
All right, guys. See ya. Take
All
care.
right. Take it easy, buddy. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah.
Good one, guys.
Bye. Thanks to Ben, Jeff, Andrew, Todd, Brandon, and Jacob for joining me on this episode of Fans with Bands. Drink Their Blood had a huge list of upcoming shows, so get out there and check them out. You won't be disappointed as they are an amazing band. Watch for updates on their Facebook page. And see the show notes for all the details and links. These are tough times for everyone in the creative industries such as music. Your support of live streaming, purchasing music, and merchandise is critical. If you can help out your local artists, please do. If you are in the Michigan area, consider following the Playing in the Detroit Area Tonight Facebook page. It is a place for fans and bands to support each other and share our combined love of music. Thank you all so much for listening. Be sure to hit subscribe on your favorite podcast service to get each and every episode of Fans with Bands. Spread the word by rating the show and leaving a comment. We want to hear what you think. You can keep in touch by following us on social media. This is a Life in Michigan production. Until next time, be well and kick out the jams.